Welcome in, IllinoisPrep.com. Skylar King alongside Eric Seals. You can hit us up on Twitter at EricIPrep, at SkylarIPrep. Talk it up on the message boards. And always you can see us on Facebook. 5 games to preview this week. Plainfield Central Minooka, Lockport, Lincoln Way East, Joliet Catholic Richwoods, Cary Grove, Crystal Lake South. And our first game, Geneva, St. Charles East. Geneva just got a big win over Wheaton North. And you know Geneva is going to air the ball out.
Yeah, they are. Matt Williams, NIU recruit, went 11 for 22, 213 yards. Rushing it for 60 yards. I mean, he's a player. You know, we were talking about Malcolm Weaver a little bit earlier. So, you know, Geneva is definitely one of those teams that we're starting to look at. Big win over that DVC team, Wheaton North. You know, and so also Parker Woodworth went for 31 rushes, 175 yards. So they're definitely giving him ample opportunities to tote that rock. And
that's why I'm picking Geneva, is because you know Geneva is going to be able to air it out. But when you got a kid you can hand that off to 31 times as well, that lets you know that not only
Jacob Brindley.
Yeah, not only can they chuck it, but on 3rd and 1, they can get those tough yards too by handing it off. And so I like Geneva over St. Charles East, 3-0.
This is a team that I know we're going to be seeing towards the end of the year. I also have Geneva on this game.
Game 2, we've got Cary Grove, Crystal Lake South, both teams that have made nice runs in the playoffs in recent years. Cary Grove just stuck Lake Zurich this past week, who was in a lot of people's top 10s. What are your thoughts here?
I think it's going to be a fantastic matchup. Definitely probably one of the top for this 2011 football season. Crystal Lake South is definitely a team. We've been hearing about them. We've been hearing about Prairie Ridge. But Cary Grove, a team we actually had ranked last year. They had about 18, new starters, and so now all those starters are seniors, and their defense is just taking over teams that they're playing. Obviously, you saw that with who they played last week, and I got Cary Grove for this game.
I have Cary Grove also. I think the defense because Lake Zurich, Brindley or no Brindley, that's an offense that can wear you down. And would be able to get most teams late in that game. But this Cary Grove defense stood tall. A couple key interceptions by Zach Marzale. And this is those type of games that can get a team to say, we're all good.
We're just as good as everybody.
It doesn't matter who we're playing. We can come up with a big stop. And when your offense knows that that's the way your defense is playing, they can be a little free and loose and be like, look, there's not that much pressure because the defense is going to be there. Let's go out, have fun, put some points on the board. Cary Grove over Crystal Lake South. The winner of this game, though, is got to be one of those front runners in 6A. Game 3, JCA, Richwoods. Back-to-back years these teams have met in the playoffs, and I'm feeling a little bad for my Knights because Joliet's got a little unfinished business from the playoffs last year, and they've been rolling, and Richwoods is 0-2. Started the year ranked in the top 10 in 6A in the AP. Have lost 2 one-possession games, one to Pekin, one to Washington, and They better be ready because Joliet Catholic's going to be looking for some serious revenge.
And this is one of these games that we picked before the season started. This was a preseason game that we knew that we wanted to preview, and we thought it was going to be a little different by the time we got to this point, especially with how they played last year. But after seeing JCA, the way they played Carmel, Ty Isaac, Malin Jones, I'm sorry, Peoria Town, I love you guys down there, but JCA is about to do some damage.
Yeah, and I mean, it's one of those where it starts to get, it's sort of like what Maine South was last year. It's like, even though they're a program that's had success, when you're 0-2 and you're staring 0-3 in the face, that's when you're like, man, we better rally the troops just to make the playoffs.
And JCA would have a smile on their face to give them 0-3, especially for what happened last year.
And, not too many teams end Joliet Catholic season.
No.
And so, that's a little something extra. Kendrick Foster is going to, for this to even be competitive, is going to have a huge day for Richwoods. He's the junior running back. But he had a big game against Pekin, and they still lost. Pekin got him in the last 40 seconds of this football game, similar to the way JCA got Carmel. Yeah, it's, these are high school kids. They're emotional. It's hard when you're 0-2 to convince the kid, look, it's okay, forget about it. Those thoughts linger, and you can't have those lingering doubts when you're playing the Hilltoppers.
No.
Joliet Catholic's got to be the pick. Joliet looks like a potential runaway 5A state champion right now.
Yeah.
When we come back, we've got Lincoln Way East, Lockport, Plainfield Central, Minooka. We'll break both of those down for you when we come back here on IllinoisPrep.com. Welcome back in, IllinoisPrep.com. Eric Seals, Skylar King continuing the Week 3 preview. Lockport, Lincoln Way East. The Potters were a dominant program within the last 10 years, back-to-back state titles, but they're going to need some of that magic if they're going to potentially beat Lincoln Way East. Who's just been rolling these first couple weeks.
Yeah, Lincoln Way East has been looking good. Our number 10 team.
Yep.
A star offense with J.J. Robertson, Jay Yancey, running back, Tyler Stark, Blake Winkler from last year.
A lot of weapons.
They are just looking really good. The game that they have against Lockport is, I think Lincoln Way East is going to win this game. Lincoln Way East is definitely one of those teams that you're going to see throughout the rest of the season and possibly, go deep into the playoffs. So I have Lincoln Way East in this game.
Well, and as a running back, you know how important that line is. 3 of their linemen are 260 plus, which for high school, I mean, that's pretty big.
Yeah.
Not too many 300-pound linemen running around. They also have a defensive lineman, Matt Solner, 6'2", 260. That's the guy that's going to be stuffing the run for you. And the Lincoln Way schools, especially East, have made some runs.
Yep.
I think it's, even though they're, not all the Lincoln Way schools have been around for that long. I think that's an area, when you talk about Joliet Catholic, that takes pride in its football.
Yep.
And I think this is a team that's got a winning attitude. They expect to go out and win every week. And they're really going to be making a nice run through that conference, competing with Homewood Flossmoor and Bolingbrook. I just don't see how the Griffins lose this football game.
Yeah.
Because there's just too much size, too much talent, and they are one of the better teams in the state. Finally, we've got Plainfield Central, Minooka. Minooka just took a
tough loss,
a 7-0 trick play loss to our Providence Celtics.
Yeah.
And they get Plainfield Central. And again, Minooka is a team who is 0-2, 9 turnovers in the first 2 games.
Big.
That's something they're going to have to clean up, not just to beat Plainfield Central, but to beat anybody throughout the season.
True, but think about that. You clean that up, that's a completely different team.
Absolutely.
They can definitely establish the run game. Calvin Hill went 107 yards for against Providence last week. That's big. You got to look at Minooka. This is a team that went to the quarterfinals last year.
Yep.
They've been outgaining their opponents by 169 yards. This is not, the first 2 games, the beginning of the season, it's kind of hard to determine how good a team is going to do. But with their history, with how they've been playing, if they can clean up a couple things, this is going to be a good team. Plainfield Central, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to go with Minooka on this one.
I agree, but I think it's probably going to be closer than most people thought before the season started. They probably had this game, so it was okay, win, go. But, confidence is a dangerous thing. Plainfield Central's 2-0. This is, again, sort of the opposite of Lincoln Way East. This isn't a program that's got a lot of great past successes to fall back on, but when you start winning, you're feeling good. The coaches say, look, all we got to do is, we don't have to do anything special.
Yep.
Just keep doing what we're doing. Making plays when you need them, and we'll win football games. And they had 3 running backs combined for 377 in this last win over St. Charles North. And that's one of those things, when you're the underdog, if you can pound the ball and shorten the game, so to speak, you're going to be in it for a long time. And so Lincoln Way East, but I think this is only a 1-score game. Or sorry, Lincoln Waste, Manuka. But I think this is only a one-score game.
You have Manuka?
Yeah, I have Manuka,
Okay.
but I think this is going to be really. This is going to be a fourth decided in the fourth quarter for sure.
Okay, yeah. I mean, you're right. When a team is 0-2, they're looking at the season a little bit different.
Yeah.
But like Coach and Sarah said, they're easier to coach.
Yeah.
Sometimes a 2-0 team is harder to coach. So we'll see how that turns out. And yeah, no, I think it will be a close game. I think it will be a close game.
So there you have it. God, total agreement this week.
No, I don't like that. I definitely don't like that.
We might have to just scrap this show and pick five new games. Probably not.
Yeah.
For Eric Seals, I am Skylar King. When we see you next time, we'll be doing the Week 3 recap, talking about all 5 of these games, and then, of course, we'll be previewing Week 4 next week. Until next time, you've been watching IllinoisPrep.com.